Okay, so welcome everyone to the week 8 of Business Analysis Made Easy. And today we're just getting an overview of business analysis activities. And this model, this diagram is just to give us a kind of general overview and what we have worked on since the past 8 weeks. So as a business analyst, when you are hired, you could join the business at the beginning of the project, or in between, or at the end of the project. Now, if you join at the beginning, maybe they were just trying, they were at the planning or initiation stage. If you join at that time, you may be able to assist the organization, by going with needs assessments, understanding their needs. This need, is it a problem or is it an opportunity? You may start from there. The second one, again, if you join in between, maybe they started working on the project and maybe they discovered they need more resources, or maybe one of the BAs that was working there before left the team and you join. Definitely at that stage, you will need to understand what they are working on. And most of the time, you will definitely do document analysis for you to come up with speed to where they were, because going through the document will give you the insight of what they were trying to achieve, understand the scope, and again, understand where they are going, know the challenges, understand the customers, your stakeholders' pain points, identify all your stakeholders and all of that. If you are joining at the end of a project, most of the time, that will be kind of like a support, or what we call operation. And that is like the ongoing maintenance of that particular project, whereby you may be providing some kind of training, you may be providing some kind of walkthrough, developing some training documents, or what we call a user documents. So you may be working in that role as well, whereby you continue to support, get feedback from users in order to see where you can improve on that particular project. So wherever you join them, I'm telling you, what you do as a BA will still remain the same. However, some organizations, they are demanding more from us, because maybe some of them don't want to spend, some of them, they don't want to hire, more people, they are somehow stingy. But maybe that is the way they are structured. So number one is that you want to, if you are starting, anytime you are starting in a project, I'm so sorry for that background noise. Sorry about the background noise. Sorry about it. So, like I said, I'm not transmitting from home, I'm outside somewhere. So, like I said, anytime you join a project team, you need to understand what they are working. What is the business goal? What is the business objective? What are they trying to achieve? Is there a problem they want to solve? Is there a goal they are yet to meet? You need to do this. And as a BA, one of the skills you must have is you must know how to research. Apart from you are going to interact with other people, you must know how to research. Today, we have a lot of tools out there. Before, we used to say Google is your friend. Today, I'm telling you, you have a lot of friends. A lot of AIs are there now that you can use and leverage to get any information you want to have now. It's becoming very, very, very sweet, interesting, and easier. So it's important for us to know how to take advantage of these tools. Now, again, you must learn how to know how to ask questions. I mean, relevant questions. You ask questions to be able to understand the exact thing they are looking for. It will help you to actually dig into the main problem, and that will help you how to come with your own solution ideas. Now, you need to identify your stakeholders. When you gather all the background information, next thing is you identify your stakeholders. We use different techniques like You brainstorm with the project team, you interview your project sponsor. If you already know your project manager, you also want to interview such person. Again, you can use a document analysis, going over the existing documents already, and that will let you know one or two other stakeholders that you might be missing, even when you have conversation with anybody. And at this stage, you will come up with what we call stakeholder matrix, or what we call RACI matrix. We talk about these, I think, during our first or second week. We talk about RACI matrix: who is responsible, who is accountable, who is to be consulted, and who is to be informed. This will help you to know who is the person to meet when you have a particular need. And also, we also need to do what we call the power and interest grid. Some people call it influence and power and interest grid. So either you call it power or interest, power or influence. Then the next one is the interest grid, whereby some people, they have high interest and low power. Some have high power and high interest, like the project sponsor, that have a high power and high interest. And again, some have low power and low interest. Some at times may be kind of a general public, when they don't actually care of what is happening with whatever projects the government or whichever organization they are embarking on. But at the same time, they are still some part of your stakeholders. Talking about stakeholders, you have some stakeholders, we call them the internal stakeholders, and we have the external stakeholders, like the regulatory body are part of your external stakeholders. For example, in the banking sector, the central bank is one of your, if you are working in the banking sector, remember that the central bank regulations, you must adhere to it. So as you are working on the project, as you are getting your requirements, always remember business rules and again, regulations. Those are very key that you need to work with. So this also will help you to understand how to manage your stakeholder. We talk about stakeholder management at our weeks 2, I think so. So you may need to come up with either stakeholder matrix or RACI matrix, depending on that, which your team want to work with. But again, these are the things we call deliverables, or some people call it the documentation. Some places they may call it the artifacts. It all depends, but basically it means what is expected of you, any documentation that is expected of you. Your project manager will always be on you for any of the deliverables that is expected of you. Now, when you now know the business objectives, you now want to, that will help you to understand the problem. When you understand the problem, you are coming up with different solution options. So at that stage, that is when you write a business case. And most of the time, your business case may have more than one solution proposal. So you may have 1, 2, 3. However, it may be just one solution. But that one solution, again, you still want to convince your stakeholders. Either you need to build or you need to buy. What do I mean by that? Building means that you have resources in-house that can actually develop that solution. Buying means you want to buy from the COTS, what we call commercial off the shelf. Oh, Ken Francis, you want to talk?
Yes, I want to ask a question.
Please
so you said at this point we have to write a business case. I thought it should be BRD.
No, I'll get there, please.
Because my understanding of business case is like, if you're in an organization already, you want to get the organization always to the future point. That's when you develop a business case, and they kind of push your business case to the stakeholders to buy onto your business case, the reason. But BRD goes with if you're in a project already.
Yeah.
I'm just, if you can make it clearer, please.
Yeah. So at this stage, what I'm still saying is this: you are just evaluating the options. The stakeholders have not even accepted what you have. So you are using your business case to sell that option. Again, like I said, some organizations, they already have what they want to do. I can tell you most of the projects I've worked on, they came up with it. We just only fine-tune it. However, I've also done one I think, 2 business cases, and that was specifically for process optimization, because I saw the current process and I came up with that. And for me to get the buy-in from the stakeholder is to develop my business case. At that stage, we have not even gotten to business requirements, because I still want to sell that option to them. So you will use business case to sell it. Some organizations, you don't even need it. They have they know what they want to do. And if you are going to write it, it's just like give them more ideas based on what they are telling you to do or asking you to do. So business case is for you to get the buy-in of what you want them to do. You are proposing a solution. And like I said, it could either be you build it or you buy it. It could be different option entirely. But you give them different options. You tell them the pros, the cons. You talk about the cost, the benefits, cost and benefit analysis. Just trying to do kind of a little financial analysis for them to see reason if they are building it, they will have more ROI, return on investment, than buying it. You try to bring all the advantages and the disadvantages for that particular solution. So at this stage, when you are looking at the problem and you are bringing solution, you write business case, not BRD. After that, you now begin to come to what? Scope definition, because if they have agreed that we want to buy, or they agree that we want to build, now, what are the things that will be in scope and those things that will be out of scope? Mostly, BA, we don't write these scope documents. Project manager do. Again, because a lot of team now, they don't go with a lot of documents. We try to collapse all of these things inside one particular document. So for us as a BA, we add this into our BRD. So when you get your scope, then you plan your game. That one is left for you and your team. How do you want to do what? All your activities, your involvement in this project, how do you want to go about it? It is for you to plan it. What are the things that you need to do? How long is it going to take you? It's important, you have them itemize and write it out, because you might be working in a very fast-paced environment. And again, you might be working in a company that you will be involved in multiple projects. Currently, I have a lot on my head. So if you don't plan yourself, I'm telling you, you will miss a lot of deadline. You can use a lot different kind of tools. Your Microsoft Outlook calendar is very good for it. If you have any other tools you can use, Trello is also good for it. I use Trello as well. But if you don't even know any of this, you can even have your printed calendar. Sticky note is also good, just for you to plan what your game, whatever you want to do, you plan it. Then you now come to the requirement. So that is when you start with your requirement, we start with the high level. And that is when we talk about BRD. And like I said, because we have different approaches to project management, your team may be working on 100% agile. Some teams work on hybrid, that is some part of waterfall and part of agile, which is what we have seen today, and some may be completely waterfall. So depending on whatever you are working on, so your deliverable at that stage could be BRD, could be FRS, that's functional requirement specification. You may need to do use case. You may even need to do user stories if you are 100% on agile. So, but just know that these are the deliverables expected of you. You may also need to add some other things depending on your team. Now, at that time, when you finish your requirement and you are done with it, the next thing is they go to implementation. At this implementation, that is when we talk about maybe you want to use Agile, you want to use Scrum. And if they are going to use Scrum, like we did during our training, when we talk about Scrum, you will be part of the team right from the beginning. I mean, by developing the product backlog. If you have a product owner on that team, you work with that team. Again and again, I will say it again, Theoretically speaking, there is no BA in a Scrum team. But when it comes to the real life, you will find a BA working. And what they are saying now is that since we call the developers, you know, we have the product owner, we have the Scrum Master, and we have the developers. They say BA is part of the developers. However, whatever they want to call it, that is it. But I'm telling you, real life situation, you are going to work with them and you'll be working with your product owner if you are not even the one wearing the cap of the product owner. If you are the one, you are the one in charge of the product backlog, talking about the grooming and the refining, talking about the prioritization. Yes, you do that. Then the Scrum team begin to pick the stories into the into the sprint backlog, from the product backlog to the sprint backlog. At this stage, as a BA, what do? We support them, because all these stories we're talking about, these are our requirements. And again, it depends on different teams. You will see some teams that they will give you to go and develop stories on so features, or you do it as a team. But there will always be a time that you come together as a team to actually plan how you are going to deliver the solution. So after this, the sprint will start, and we know that cycle when they will work on them requirements. They'll begin to develop the requirement. But again, as a BA, you might also need to do what we call requirement modeling in form of process mapping, in form of wireframe, or maybe mockups or prototype. However, if you have a dedicated UI UX in the team, you are going to be using them. A dedicated UI UX in the team, they are going to be the one responsible for that. But if you can do this, it is very sweet. It will help you, because this will help your developers to understand your requirements better. But if not, you have them. What you'll be doing is you support them, answer their questions, look at it if they're having any issue with any requirements. You are there to support the team. Again, in between this implementation, we have another cycle we call testing, because either it is waterfall or agile. Definitely you are going to get to that phase to test the solution. If you have dedicated testers in the team, yes, this is their responsibility. They will develop the test plan, the test scenario, and the test case. They carry out different type of testing. There is one that the developers will carry out, like the unit testing, as the white box, black box, done by developers. You as the tester or UDBA you might not, and you might be the one talking about the integration testing, talk about the system testing. That system testing, when you are testing everything, we have different type of testing. We have regression testing. That is after they discover a bug and it is fixed, and you test it again, but you want to carry out this test on other features again to be sure that while developing this, it doesn't affect what was working before. That's regression testing. Then the final one, which you must do, is user acceptance testing. At that phase, you are bringing in your stakeholders to actually test, see how the solution is going to perform. And from there, you get the sign off from them. And that is, you know, the whole SDLC, what your role is as a BA. And this process, if you understand it, you just have to understand it, because you must learn how to use this during your interviews. Now, after it, the next thing is what? Is solution evaluation, to evaluate that solution, to see if this thing is actually performing. And that's where you need to have your own KPI, your key performance indicators, just to be sure that this solution actually meets the stakeholders' needs, solve the business problem. And at that stage, you know, that's where you need to send out survey to end users, and as well, maybe internal stakeholders as well, to see how that solution is actually working. So if everything goes on fine, yes, you go on there. Okay, quickly, somebody said business case is the reason for the project. Business case is not like the main reason. It's the reason will be part of it, and you are proposing that solution. You can have more than one solution. Like I said, there are some places that the solution, let's say now, you want to build a CRM, customer relationship management. You have the option of building or buying. And it is in business case, you want them to see the reason why they should build or why they should buy. So that's give us a kind of idea. Projects, we have project brief where project manager is going to is the one responsible for that. We do the projects, come up with the project brief that is telling us everything about that project. What is grooming and prioritization? Grooming is when you are working on your stories. Now you will have different stories, and all these stories at this stage of grooming is like you are trying to see if this story fits into this what makes a quality story. At that stage, you may need to slice some story because the story may be too big. At this stage, we always also see if this story is a dependency of another story. So that is what we do at that product backlog level, not at the sprint backlog. You arrange all your stories on everything you want to build. But remember, Scrum is very flexible, it is adaptable. So it means that we are open to change. But from the beginning, we put all our stories there. We may not even know everything. That is why we are using Scrum, because we are open to change. What we think is all we need may change along the line. There may be new technology as we're working on, and we don't want to be left behind. So that's grooming, but prioritization is ranking them according to how they are going to deliver value to stakeholders, to your customer. Your customer can be your business where you are working for, doesn't mean that external customer, but I'm using that word like that. So ranking them is, prioritizing them is ranking them. This one, it's something that we first of all deliver value. In a Scrum, we always deliver minimum viable products. So for every sprint, we want to deliver something that will make sense, that will add value, that customer can actually run with. But remember again, it is not every sprint that we release. It depends on how it works for your team. If you want it every 2 sprints, yeah, you can do a release. Release means we've already give it out there. It has already gone live. And from there, we continue to improve and improve on whatever we are doing. UAT, user acceptance testing. That is when you bring in your stakeholders to test the solution. It is not everybody you bring. It may be the product owner may be there, the project sponsor may also be there, and maybe one key user like a subject matter expert may also be part of that. And just you will write how you want them to test it. And what you will do at that stage, basically, it is just the normal flow. I don't know, maybe it was in this class, I've mentioned it before. When you are testing software, we have the happy part and the unhappy part. But at UAT, you just go the happy way. You don't test it the other way around, except if your stakeholders, maybe that person itself is also like a kind of a solution architect or one kind of very solid developer can now do all of that. Yeah. In the prioritization process, which do we give top priority? Easy requirement or difficult requirement? No, nothing like easy or difficult requirements. It is what we had value. And again, I can tell you, you can also keep in mind regulations, because anything that will make you to be penalized, you have to be careful about that. So you want to also include that. You look at the urgency, you look at the value, you look at urgency, you look at regulation, business rules. So all those things you have to keep in mind. But these are the things that the BA and the product owner will also work together with. So you know, again, if one story or one requirement is a dependence of another dependency of another requirement, you need to be very, very careful about it. When you look at risk, definitely, you want, if the one with high risk, like I talk about penalty now, is high risk. So that have to be, prioritized earlier than the one with a low risk, something that you can always take care of. KPI, key performance indicator. Like I said, many of us, when you use some application, either web or mobile, you will see that we ask you about if you want to do a survey, or maybe where that time you go to store and after you buy the groceries, they will ask you, can you do survey, how we do? And they will promise to give you points, or like the eatery, they will ask you to get so free something when you complete that survey. What are they trying to do? They are getting data, and this data is for them to make what an informed decision. You and I as customer, we may not know, but at the back end, these are the tools they are using. So as a BA, we use it a lot. Survey questionnaire, we use it to see how that solution is actually performing. Because when you ask people to rate the solution, the software they use between 1 to 10, and you are seeing people giving you 2, that's to tell you it's not performing well. And again, you ask them, what can we do to improve on this solution? You want to pick 1, 2, 3 suggestions. So that is why survey or questionnaire is also a technique for requirement elicitation. But again, it's a very strong tool we use for KPI. Okay, so, and if everything went on good like that, you go live, but as a BA, you continue to support the project, you continue to support the business, because it may be in form of like a training, like I said, it may be in form of a maintenance. You just want to continue to enhance that particular solution, adding some new features. Like we see most of the application we use on our phone, that is where you will take note a lot of the time. Most of this application, you can see that from time to time, we download updates, and that update you see is a kind of a better function, or it gives a better functionality than what we have before. Some, it may even just be the user interface, just to make it more friendly and more fancy. Okay, do we have any question, or do we have anyone that want to quickly jump on board and also add to what we are talking about? Okay, somebody said I have from maybe a low risk are prioritized because they pave way for high risk, and in the event of requirement fail, the loss will be minimal. It's a bit confusing. Like I tell you, how do you even, first of all, how do you even identify which one is low? How do you define your low risk and high risk? For example, now, I believe most of us may be from Nigeria, but again, even if not, we understand this. Central Bank of Nigeria, they are the regulatory body of every commercial bank in the country, any country as well, right? Even in Canada now as well. So when the CBN said that don't accept so currency by so time, that is a high risk, right? Because CBN can actually end your business as a commercial bank, because they give the license, they are part of everything you are doing. They give the law. When I remember very well, when we first have an ATM in Nigeria, I think the maximum you can withdraw per transaction was 20,000 naira and 3 times, which means 60,000 naira per day. And that was CBN rule, regulation. And when you are developing your solution, you must factor that in, because that's a requirement from your regulatory body. It is high risk, because if you go against it, you will be penalized. So it all depends. the way you define the high risk and what are those things that you actually look at as high risk, it depends. Again, why do we choose Agile? Agile is for complex projects. Agile don't fear to fail. If you have not been practicing Agile, that is where you'll be afraid. Agile, we talk about transparency. So we don't fear to fail. It is waterfall that when you fail, you say it's too cost. Agile, because within 2 weeks, you already want to know what is working and what is not working. At max, 4 weeks, according to Agile Scrum Guide. But it is in waterfall that it can take you 6 months before you even realize that what you are doing is not working, because you have to complete one phase before you go to the next phase. But in Agile, if it is 2 weeks sprint, within that 2 weeks, you must know what is working and what is not working, and you correct it. So that is why people go for Agile now. You deliver fast, you fail quick, you learn quick, and you correct quick. Okay. High level requirement means like a kind of a summary of what they want. For example, now, if I tell you that I want this solution to have security, that let it be very difficult for hackers to be able to hack into customers or users' data. That is high level. By the time you go to low level, you want to begin to define everything we need. When you mean, what do I mean by security? Is it only just about data protection? You know, that is when we begin to talk about, okay, are we using cloud, or do we want to still go with the old school whereby we want to have our server in-house, or we want to have a cloud? And when we put it on cloud, what type of security mechanism are we going to put? Now we begin to talk about even the registration, breaking it down to how do you want the password to be? What do you want to be the composition of the password? Do you want multi-factor authentication on the password? That is now you begin to break down that high level. If I talk about every user must register, it is high level. What do you want them to register with? That is when you begin to break it to low level. High level, any user on this solution must register, high level, users registration. But low level, how? You want them to be able to use their Google account, their social media account. You want them to use a username, create username and password. You want the username to be any username or their email. It must be in email format. So that is low level. Okay, I will allow Sarah. Please, Sarah, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Gwenga. What I actually wanted to ask was what I think somebody else just asked and you answered. I was also asking about risk and how to identify, and if it was the BA's role or the PM's duty to identify like the risks of, you know, a project. That was what I was asking.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, a lot of things you see, the PM, it's their function, it's their duty. In fact, when it comes to risk, I'm telling you, project manager, they have it. If you see the project management framework, risk management is one of the areas, like it's a big thing for them. It's a big thing, but as a BA, you cannot say because I'm the BA, I don't want to know anything about risk or concerning this project. No, you work with your project manager, it should be your best buddy in that project team. So you also want to identify risk. You even help your project manager to also identify risk as well. And you know, these are things that, let me say, I don't know how I can say that you need to learn the skill of how to do this thing. No, these are things you look at. And when we talk about analysis, you're analyzing something, looking at that and thinking through, and you'll be like, okay, you know, it's just like if somebody said that this solution, we only want people to use PayPal as the payment gateway. The means of payment we want is only PayPal. I'm just using that as an example. What do you think could be the risk with using only PayPal? Can you say something, Sarah?
First and foremost, I think environmental consideration, understanding that PayPal is not global. It has its restrictions. And then this, you have to link it with your bank. So those might also pose risks of, tracking payments and things like that. And like if you pass, of course, hacking, if people are able to hack into your account and, now take advantage of your funds, and you lose at that point, because sometimes we know that it's not all hackers that get caught, and some people eventually lose. So from my perspective.
Yeah, that is how we brainstorm, we come together in a team and everybody think through it. You drop ideas and, we refine it. And at the end of the day, we put it together. So just like you said, someone also put it in the chat box here, looking at it from what? Information integrity. That means if anything happened to PayPal, your business is down. If hackers hack into PayPal, it means your business is down. If PayPal system stop functioning or they have any glitches, it means your business is down. So that is how you identify risk. So those are risks you just want to talk about. And again, you try to let's see how we can mediate this. So you now begin to tell the project sponsor, do you think, we think if we are just using only these, we may be at the risk of so things. However, why can't we add MasterCard? And even when we are adding MasterCard, don't let us just base on only one provider. Let's use Visa, let's use Amex, let's use MasterCard. That is how it works. But you have to document any risk you identify, because if the business, this business or the sponsor, they don't want to go with your identified risk, if they still want to go ahead, despite that become their problem. If anything happens, you have it documented, right? But again, you have also advised them how they can mediate this risk, and which they have to also put into consideration. Yeah. Somebody say national data security or business data security. Yeah, because again, all your customers, all your users, you are allowing PayPal. They will have PayPal will have access to all of your users, and it's not good, put all your eggs in one basket. Okay. Any other person? Okay, like I said, next week and upper week, we will be looking at SQL, how you use SQL for data, But I must tell you, you want to use SQL, you will know a bit of Excel. So in the course of the week, I'm going to send out email to everyone, and that email will contain the instruction how you can download and install MySQL, so that when the instructor come on board, they will just pick it up from there. We don't want to use the time we have next week to be talking about how you are going to download, how you are going to install. We have a short video and instruction, which I'm going to attach in an email. I will send it to everyone, and before next Saturday, we should be able to do what? Download it and install it. If you have any challenges about that, you may need to wait to the next class. You will see how to do it. So we look at SQL, and upper week we look at Power BI. We may not actually give you everything, but at least we will try as much as possible to give us something that we can pick from it, and everyone will be able to learn from there. Now, do we have anybody that want to share anything? Okay, oh, no one. Okay, now let me quickly jump into some of the questions people have asked me. And
Sir.
okay,
Please,
go ahead.
please, can you explain the white and the black test?
Okay, the white box test and the black box test, as they call it, most of the time, this is done by the developer. They even call it, what do you call this one again? Smoke test. So when they finish developing any feature, when the developer develop any particular feature, so they want to first of all go through, check it to see how this thing works out well in line with what they are working on. So want to see how this thing is, they call it the external behavior. They call it the external behavior of that system. But the white box is the internal behavior of that solution. But it's mostly the developers just try to check what they are working on, basically. But the one that concern us as a BA, even if they are hiring you to work as a tester in your team, not like they are going to put it as your responsibility, but they may add it. That one will be things like you are writing the test plan, test cases, test scenario, test cases, and test cases looks very similar to as if you are writing user story, though not exactly, but it will be from that feature as well. So step by step, how they go about it. Let me call it like acceptance criteria. So step by step, how you test it. And this they carry it out on unit testing. Unit testing again, you see, the developers do it again. We also do it as a tester, sorry. But integration testing, you may need to be part of that if you are working as taking on tester role in your team. And that is testing every other system that is integrated into your solution. API testing as well. But most of these, they are automated testing. Even myself, I won't go there. Then talk about the system testing, which is the general one that you are working on. But all this goes with your test case, the test case that you design.
Thank you.
Okay, let me quickly share my screen and just run with this. Like I said, my goal before was for us to be able to develop a solution based on what we are working on. But we can't really have, we don't have any developer available, and those available, I can't afford their money. They want to be paid. So if you are new or you are planning to transition into this role, I'm telling you, you didn't make a mistake. It's a career that is very lucrative. It's a career that is so fun. It's a career that I believe it will be easier for you if you have worked in a corporate setting, if you have ever used computer before, and if you have ever related with either customer or you call them clients or your colleague, you have helped them to solve problem in one area or the other. So it's something that you can do. I believe that there is nothing any one of us cannot do, especially when we are determined. Many people will tell you about business analysis. When they are selling it to you, they sell it to you that come and learn how to make 6 figures. They are not lying, but I believe if you put that, if that is your major motivation, you may not get it right. You may be easily frustrated. It is not everybody that starts this journey ends 6 figures immediately. Get that right, get that straight. But I can tell you, you can't, if you are in Canada, you cannot earn less than me. I will tell you, if you are one of my, you have belonged to my coaching program. When you are negotiating, you cannot negotiate for less than 75,000 for a start with a lot of benefits. I'm not even sure that I have any student that earn that. 75 is too small. You take from 80 and above. So it's good, but don't get it wrong. You can actually earn 120. I have a student that is earning $85 per hour, $75 per hour. It's possible, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Even when you get on there, I'm telling you, you too, you will know why they want to pay you that much. So you need to learn first. That is very key. A lot of people don't know what is IIBA, International Institute of Business Analysis. This is the body that set the global acceptable standard for business analysis. We are lucky the headquarters is here in Canada, but their certification is the one that is acceptable globally. They have chapters all over the world, including Nigeria. They have chapters in Nigeria. And you can become a member. Membership, you get benefits. And again, membership is not free. Different benefits is attached to the membership. So if you want to be one, or you want to write any of their certification, they have different types of certification. The three major ones, the ECBA, that is the entry. Then we have the CCBA, the intermediate one, and the CBAP, which is the highest one. All of these is based on the number of years of experience you have. And there is a way you work on to do all the application. A lot of people will ask, is it compulsory that I must have certification before I get a job as a BA? I will tell you no, it is not compulsory. I have students that have gotten job as a BA without certification, but I always encourage them. It's good if you have this certification. I describe it as icing sugar on cake. You know, when you dress that cake and you put icing sugar, nobody knows what you have inside of it. It could be apple, it could be a bar, but it will be looking so fascinating. So same thing goes with your certification. It gives your profile that attraction, that visibility. And again, it gives you one kind of confidence and power to negotiate. When I have, you know, by the time you see all my certification, when I tell you how much I want to collect, you will see, they will say, okay, that's fine, that's fine. And if they don't want, I just chase them away. And the same thing, it has actually been helping a lot. I can't, even my current role, I didn't apply. Recruiters found me. I can't remember the last time I submit application. The other day I submitted one. I told my wife, she was laughing because I will tell you I don't have the time. You know, it's a real big deal to apply for job here if you want to be called for an interview. That's the truth. I don't, but yet there is no week I will have nothing less than 4 or 5 recruiters that want to chat with me. So I can tell you certification is good, but it's not like it's a must. Again, it's expensive. And you know, you need to invest to also be able to get a return on investment. We've talked about our role as BA. You understand the business need and their goal. You help them analyze the need. Like I said, a need could either be problem or an opportunity. And again, you provide solution, suggest solution, and also devise strategy. How do we go about it? As a BA, you have to be a strategist. Help them. Help your business to achieve their goal. You drive change. Don't settle with status quo. Don't settle with status quo. Always think of what can we do better. With this process, we can always improve on it. It's very, very good. You facilitate stakeholders collaboration. Some people call us the bridge between the business and the developers. Yes, because we understand the business language. And again, we're able to communicate with the developer. Somebody said, please, can I send my email address via chat? If you have not filled the form, you can always fill that form. It's easier for me to just go on Google and pull up all the email address and send it at once than for me to be picking email address here and there. So if you are part of the WhatsApp group, yeah, sure. I will still drop the form there. You can fill it and I will pick up your information from there. So BA will facilitate stakeholders collaboration. We are able to bring out different stakeholders and see how we can work together to achieve the organizational goal. That is who we are as a BA. We wear a lot of crown on our just one single head. Don't be scared when you see different job name, job roles. Don't be scared. All you need to do, go into the job description, understand the requirements and their role, their functions. Then you will see maybe it's something you can actually do. You may see process analyst, you can see product owner, you can see enterprise analyst, solution analyst. Don't run away. Just check what they ask them, what they want them to do. And you can go ahead and apply. Why you should become one? Like I said, you have low entry barriers compared to other professions. This one is not a must that, oh, you must have MBA. No, it's not a must. I don't have MBA, I only have a degree and I study economics. So whatever you have, you are good to go. You can come in, though I will advise, it's good for you to have kind of like a bachelor's degree at least. You can go on from there. You can use your existing experiences. During the last week, I have conversation with a lot of people. Some people coming from the healthcare sector background, some people from banking, insurance, finance. Talk of it, anything now, even the military, the legal, everyone, you can come with whatever you know. Like I said, if you are relating with people and helping them to solve problems, one way or the other, you're already carrying out business analysis activities. Just that you might not be using the name BA. You might not even be looking at what you are doing as what? As a project. So, but one way or the other, you are working in a project, you are providing solution, you are helping customers, helping clients, putting smile in their face. So you can transition all of this experience into what you want to do. You can build on it and you will actually see yourself as a BA. Third reason is like growing markets. Every organization, every business, as we are growing in technology, the market for BA, the need for BA keep growing. Because for every solution out there, they need somebody to analyze it. They need somebody to analyze it. How this solution, how is going to help us, and how can we align it with the business goal? That is why they will always need you. That is why they will always need you. Mention it: retail, military, healthcare, the police. I don't know how many of you have seen the job of RCMP as a BA. You will be imagining, what do they need BA for? In the Royal Mounted Canadian Police, it's because you are needed. Excuse me, please. Again, it's an exciting and challenging job. I'm always happy. You know why? You will see many applications they are using out there. Sorry, please. Many applications they are using out there. And if you are part of the people that work on that solution, how will you feel when you see people like now you are using your banking application and you are part of the people that design that? Like my current clients now in their province, I know a lot of things that the citizens are using. And each time I'll just be like, I was part of the people that deliver that solution. And that is the joy of it. So it's so exciting. And you have different, as an exciting challenges. Every day you are going to bring the best out of you. And you are part of people that's delivering solution. That's one thing that motivates me every time. There was a time I was actually tempted to like, oh, let me even try work as a project manager. Again, project manager, their own is just to be coordinating here and there. But BA, you know, you are involved in everything. So it's so interesting and so exciting. Again, is a launch pad for other careers. Like I just mentioned now, if I want to change role tomorrow to project manager, because currently I'm even wearing that cap. I want to become a change management specialist. I can easily. If I want to become tester tomorrow, scrum master, product owner, product manager, I can move into all of this. And did you know one thing? It's easier for us because we're part of everything from the beginning. But I can tell you, if you start your career only, in fact, today, ask anybody that is a Scrum Master, if they don't learn business analysis, they will not find it easy. However, their role is not as if they need to do all of that. But you will see when they go for interview, they give them some things that goes that way. I have a lot of, how can I even call them, mentees that they don't want to be BA, they actually learn some other solution. And they want to be like a functional consultant or consultant in that solution. But each time they go for interview, everything still focus on BA. That is how they come to me, and we became, friends, and I begin to coach them, just walk them through some process. And, after that, they begin to get the job, though in their career, but they see that BA is actually very, very key for them. The last thing, I put it last thing, actually, every one of us, we are motivated by money. So it's there. BA, they pays well. It is not the career that you're starting with just anyhow. You get good pay, you get good perks. So many companies, but you must know how to negotiate it. They're not going to bring it out for you. Many companies will come with 3 weeks vacation. As a BA, don't take it. Negotiate it to 4 weeks. Negotiate your benefits, your health, your medical. So many other things you can negotiate. And I can tell you, a lot of us are getting, those sweet, sweet things. So it's very interesting, and why I always encourage people to join it. No matter what we say, number one is God. Number two is your dedication and your determination. And now it will help us. Why are they hiring? Digital transformation is everywhere. Everywhere. Everything is going digital. 2, we drive the change management. 3, we translate complex processes during development. The last one is that we reduce the cost of project. And all of this thing is based on facts. They've carried out research on it, and they've seen that every project that they have a business analyst, they actually spend less than those without business analysts. And that is why you see every company want to involve BA in their projects. How to become one? Number one, learn the basic of business analysis. I don't know what's wrong with this, my slide, sorry about that. Number 2, develop the behavioral skills. You need a lot of soft skills, communication skill, interaction skill. You must be able to facilitate as well. You must learn that. Again, understand the business analysis process and techniques. These are things you can learn. 4, learn the BA tools. We use different type of tools. We have a lot now, but I can tell you that if you know how to use the basic computer application, you can learn every other thing. Most of these tools, they are drag and drop, they are click and type. But it's only whatever you cannot learn is what you cannot know. So if you can learn it, you can know it. 5th one, get involved in BA activities like what we have here. Engage, enjoy it. If you see any free webinar, go in for it, you learn. If you also see any free groups, just partake of it. You keep learning. In fact, when I was doing interview, I was learning. There are so many stories that I use in my interview that I learned from webinar. Just use it on my own. You can join a professional body. Like I talk about the IIBA. You can join them. I'm a member of IIBA Global. I'm a member of IIBA Manitoba. And again, you can get yourself certified. People have asked me about training. I train people. This one is free, but as well, I train people that I charge money as well. And my training, we run it for 8 weeks. It's coming up. We're starting next week, Friday, which is, it's been run for 12 weeks. And what we do, we go from the basic and we move gradually into the complex. And as we are going in the training, we work on projects, we work with everybody that you need to work with in a project. We work with them, And at the end, you deliver projects. We help you with your resume. We help you to prep you for interview when you have opportunity. We give job reference. If you are, especially if you don't have Canadian experience and you want to use our complaint, but definitely you must be an active student. I won't give I will not prep any student that doesn't do assignments. I want to prepare somebody that my effort will not be in vain. So that is the approach, and we give on the job support at least minimum 1 month to our students. Because when you get the job, I'm telling you, please, can you mute yourself if you are not talking now? When you get the job, I can tell you that is when you even need your coach more. Because at any training, no matter what they give you in any training, it is not all. It is when you start working, that is when we know the actual area. Because training, we introduce you to so many things, but we don't know which one is going to be our area. But by the time you start working, then we will see the area we need to help you. So that's why I give that 1 month on the job support to all my students. This one, we talk about the IIBA certification, the ECBA, the CCBA, and the CBAP. I always advise people, if you have 5 years of experience, working experience before, go for CBAP. Again, we have a CBAP class. If you are my paid student for the accelerator program, I give you that support free, but we also have a boot camp we run for CBAP with 100% success story. So they have a specialized one, AAC, that is for the agile analysis. They have the CBDA, that's for business data analytics. They have the cyber security, that's a CCA. They have the product owner certification as well. All these by IIBA. So this is the one I talk of our own training, sorry. My business analysis accelerator program. It's 12 weeks and we're starting this Saturday. I will send out emails and link to register. If you wish, you can talk to me and we can look at it from that. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Do we have any question before we call it a day today? I must tell you, I am so encouraged with many of us and our contribution in the team. Okay, Rahman, please, you have the floor.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, brother. You've been so marvelous. We've really gained from you. You're wonderful. Yeah. You mentioned when you were trying to talk about the role of a business analyst, and you also now mentioned the role of product manager or product developer, which I was one. I worked with Etisalat before. I was the one that actually developed the Etisalat mobile data service called Easy Blaze in Nigeria. And I remember I used to look at product development as a subset of project management because I understood project. But when I now absorb the role of product development, I now realize that product development is even everything because a project manager is actually working for a product developer, which means from start to the end. So I'm now looking at the business analyst as well. It's almost like it's almost the same activity or the same function, the same role, or I did everything because then I was a specialist. I have an head. I don't have a manager. I do virtually everything. Go to market, business case, BRD, specification, even test cases, you know, even research, market research, every down to, because it's my product. I have to make sure that I develop it right, conceptualization and the idealization, develop it, take it to technical team, make sure that tester, I have a test script, test plan, everything, launch it. After launch, babysit it, ensure that the growth is sustainable in the market. If it's declining, every down. So I'm now wondering, when I started hearing business and analysts, I was like, where does it really fit in what I used to do before?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah, like you, from everything you said now, you are a product, the way we call it product owner, or we call it product manager, especially if you manage different product owner under you. So because product ownership, one thing again is, like you said, they do market analysis, they develop the product roadmap and all of that. But as a BA, from everything you have done, the BA will work specifically about on the requirements. So that is the area that you can streamline a bit. But again, in many teams, they want you to go beyond that. BA, we deal with requirement elicitation. You know, when you gather all the requirements, you refine it, analyze it, and again, probably you have to also model the requirements. But talk about data. Some team or maybe some projects you might be working on, they require data. And you as a BA, they want you to also work on that. You know, you generate data and able to analyze the data to give a kind of information that will help the stakeholders to make an informed decision. Going from what I want to also pick from what you have said, you've done. I don't know, maybe you do something like a process mapping, whereby you map the process.
Yes, I did all that. Process mapping, forecasting, business case, projection, you know, financial projection, even from requirement, even vendor analysis, as in buy or make a decision, everything. You know, requirement. If I BRD document, they used to call me BRD the document doctor, because with the way it's always voluminous, because I always want to make it so detailed in my company. It's a lot that they used to fear, but once they see my BRD, yay, he has come home, you know, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Yeah. And that's one thing I want to say. You see.
So sorry. So if I may reframe my question is, where does a BA work start? Because for me, I'm beginning to see like, okay, maybe I was even a BA person, but you know, so where does a BA work start from what I have painted? And is there any overlap between a BA work, function, and a product developer or product manager's function? Where is the overlap?
Okay, so like one thing I would first of all, I want to point out here is this. You are working in Nigeria, Abi? You are
yes,
in Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
You will see in Nigeria, like back there, I just want to use myself as an example. I work in budgets, I work in payroll, I work with account payable, you know, we call it other charges, account receivable, audits. And when it comes to analysis of all of this, I am still part of it, just only me. When I first moved to Canada, my first job was financial analyst. Ask me, what was I doing? Only just payroll analysis. I work with the payroll accounting, so we just do analysis on the payroll, the general ledger. That's all. Nothing concerning me with account payable, receivable, audit. They all have different things they are doing. What am I trying to say? In Nigeria, you are one, but they will bombard you with everything. And that is what makes us very strong. When you are talking about strong work ethic, we have it. It's one of our strengths. I pride myself whenever I'm talking with anybody. As a Nigerian, we have very strong work ethic, because all of these things is part of us, and that is the way we are trained. But if you are in this place, do you know It is not everything they want me to do, I will do. As a BA, I will tell you what are my roles. But if the job description says so, like now, I am not working as a tester. You cannot bring anything testing my way. I won't accept it because my job description didn't say that I'm going to, it didn't even say I'm going to write test case, test planner. No. So I will not do it, except if I want to support on my own. I am not going to do market analysis as a BA. I'm not going to help you develop your product roadmap as a BA. What am I trying to say? We have specialization in this place. But because the way we are very rugged, yeah, we can do a lot. We can add this and that to what we're doing. But as a BA, your role, number one, is first of all, help the organization identify their needs, assess their needs. Like I say, many organizations may even tell you, they know this is what we want to do, right? But yet you still need to analyze that and align it to their organizational goal, the business goal and objective. Then from there, you want to help them by proposing solution. When you are able to propose that solution, the next thing is to elicit requirements. Because I can say that, oh, this your process, it's manual, let's go digital. And they're like, okay, why do we go digital? I gave them the reason. I is going to save their time, save their money and all of that. And they're okay with it, right? Now, I need to know what they want because I don't have 100% understanding of this process or whatever they are using before. Now, I need to know how we can transfer or translate that old process to the digital solution we're trying to work on. And that is when I need the requirements. The overall goal is the business goal, right? Which is what we call the high level requirements, right? But I need to know the stakeholders' needs, which we translate to stakeholder requirements. Everyone, the subject matter experts, the end users, customer, maybe they also have some internal users. Maybe they have vendors that supply them with some materials. I need to know how this thing is going to affect all of them. What do you want this thing to do for you? That is your work as a BA. When you understand this, you are going to analyze it because it's not everything, excuse me, it's not everything that they tell you that is going to make sense, that is going to be useful, you know? You analyze it. And now, how are we now going to translate this manual process into digital? It is your work now to begin to prioritize what goes in first. What are the things that we must have first? Especially now that we talk about Agile. We want to deliver fast, right? That is when you are analyzing your requirement, then you are prioritizing it. You also work with other project team, other member in the project team, the project manager and all of that to know the type of methodology to develop this solution. You want to go with Scrum, with Kanban, with Pure, Waterfall, or whatever. You work together as a team because by that time you have your implementation team, the developers are there, you have the UI UX guy, you have the software tester, and you talk together. But many organizations, if it is digital transformation, you just go Agile. So your work as a BA, that is it. You are not the one to be doing everything. But if it's a place whereby they have a product owner, the product owner will come up with that because the product owner will be interfacing with the customer, either the business. But you, the BA, help the product owner to get the requirement of that product. This is the product we want to build, but now you help them talking with the stakeholders to get the requirements. That's how it works. We don't put everything on ourselves as a PA. But if you have all of these skills, that is good for you. You may want to pursue career as a product owner. You may want to pursue career as a product manager. And if you want to be a BA, that is sweet for you as well, because you already have what it takes. Develop business requirement document. Awesome. Now, just advise that you need to go Agile, know how to develop use case, know how to write user stories and acceptance criteria. Ken Francis, it's like you raise up your hand.
So the reason I raised up my hand was in support of what you are saying. A lot of people have lost their job because you know how we want to show we have the skills, we have the time. Some of these jobs you might come in a day, just your ticket might just be one ticket that you can treat under 1 hour. And woe betide you don't jump into someone else's space, because that has, like, a lot of people have lost their job, especially if you're working with all these Indians. I'm sorry if there's somebody on the seat, because if you trespass, they will see you as a threat. And before you know, something will be rising from everywhere. You might start questioning what's happening. Is just because of small contribution you made. So just mind your role, finish your role, enjoy your time, I'll get the second job. So that's my contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. I don't know, maybe we still have any contribution, but I must apologize. I am here without my charger. My battery, my system is telling me 18%. I'm not at home. I was out. But I believe we have learned something today. So do we have any other thing before we call it a day?
Nothing from here, but I just wanted to say thank you, Mr. Gwenga. I really, this is what you're doing is priceless, really. Like, for the people that have been privileged to find you at this point, whether they are already practicing or they just want to practice, the gems, the dedication that you and your team have given, like, it's mind-blowing. You know, it's what people pay thousands and thousands for. And I just want to say, like, I know that every other person is thankful, but I also want to take out this time to really express gratitude.
Thank you.
You know, and I like, they will say we would like to pray too much, but no, you know, may the good Lord, you know, bless you and your team for this. It's priceless. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're very honored to also have you. I'm really honored, and I appreciate everyone, every group. I must mention some group 3, you are superb. I love everything going on there. Other groups, some groups are so quiet, but everyone, they are doing well, you know. It all depends on our availability, right? Yeah, I know, but I love that support, and I love how everyone were assisting and supporting each other. And again, I might have offended some people. Don't be offended though. Somebody is asking if you can run 2 BA job. Okay, don't worry, you can. We have people, we are doing it. So that's my answer. If you have the strength, we're doing it. So some of you that have offended, maybe you try to reach me. I'm very, very peace. But some of you can actually attest, even in my busyness, I still try as much as possible to still reach out. Taufik, please, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's indeed a pleasure joining this session for the first time this night. I was referred to join the link by a friend in Canada and a brother, and I would have joined some days back, but sadly I had one or two other things. But, honestly speaking, the few minutes I spent listening to your session this evening is indeed a great eye-opener, and I look forward to take good opportunity of everything I've heard and then seek further clarification where needed in order to better my learning and my skill improvement on the BA journey. Once again, I appreciate you for making this awesome session, at least for now, free. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. Okay, so thank you for joining. We send out the link for next week so that you can install the MySQL. You will get the data we also be using to run the class. And we can go on from there. If you have any question, you can reach out to me. My number is on that flyer, 204-998-7447, either with WhatsApp or direct call. If you are from Nigeria, put +1. That's my WhatsApp. You will get me directly. And if you're in Canada, yeah, US, anywhere, just put +1, my WhatsApp number as well. If I didn't pick you up, call immediately. I will tell you that I'm going to call back, which I will always do. So thank you. Please, we will continue on the group. And next week, like I said, they've confirmed to me, we are learning SQL. Upper week, we are learning Power BI. Those are very good tools to be added on your resume. It's very, very good to know them. You know, you might have been watching some videos. Yeah, you can come and add more to that. And if you have anything you want to share in this platform, reach out to me. We are going to bring you on board. Let's learn from each other. So thank you. Have a wonderful evening, wonderful afternoon. And if it is still morning where you are joining from, enjoy the rest of the day. Until we meet again. For payment option on our program, yeah, reach out to me. We have installment option as well, but reach out to me. Let's talk about that. God bless you. Bye.